Let's go ahead and get this meeting of the Rockcastle County Board of Education underway. I'd like to call it to order. The first thing on our agenda tonight is a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Let the minutes note that all board members are present. Item 1C is reading the board team commitments, and I have that here in front of me, and I have not read it for a while, so I'll just do that tonight. Board team commitments for Rockcastle County Schools. To improve our effectiveness, the board team for Rockcastle County Schools commits to review processes and experiences to identify and direct improvements. Continuously define and work toward long-term goals which serve all students of the district. Make each decision based on facts and the best for all students. Listen to each other and speak freely. Work together, support each other, and not surprise one another. Discuss board deliberations to point of mutually agreeable resolution based on factual information. Support the majority's decision, projecting board unity toward shared goals for continuously improving district-wide student learning. Operate without personal or political agendas. Respect one another, agree to disagree respectfully. Delegate implementation to superintendent and education team, and to respectfully remind each other of these commitments. Item 2 is adopt the agenda. We need to make an amendment to our agenda. I'm going to go over what we're going to add, and then we need to motion to make that amendment. We need to add a 5R, which will be approve the 23-24 contract with LAVEC for Rockcastle County High School Career and Technical Funding. 5S, approve agreement with Mind PSI for student evaluation. 5T, approve an agreement with Hog Therapy for student evaluation. And 5U, which is approve the 23-24 cybersecurity policy with our insurance group.
Make a motion to approve those changes in the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Item 3. Oh, this is such a sweet time. I get so excited for this. We have Miss Savannah here tonight, and she's going to do a presentation for Save the Children. It's wonderful to see you here.
Thank you. It's so good to see all of you all. So I'll just bring it in a quick second to get everything open.
Before Miss Savannah starts, this is our newest Save the Children position that we have in the district. Of course, today we were just having conversations about how impactful our reading programs have been in our elementary schools. We'll be implementing the math in each elementary school next year. And then we have our community engagement position, and Savannah, before she even starts, has been absolutely phenomenal in this position, and it's perfect for her.
Thank you.
And she has just done wonders in a short amount of time. So I won't steal her thunder. I'll let her brag on everything she's done.
No, you're fine. So I just wanted to come and take just a small portion of your time this evening to share about Save the Children in Rockcastle County Schools beyond just my position. I have information of what School Age does, some upcoming things that are coming into the district with Save the Children. So I just want to shout out some of what they do, some of what I've done. So Brandon, whenever you're ready. And I want to start with this quote from the Vice President of U.S. Programs, and it states, "Every family across rural Kentucky wants the best for their child, but too many lack the resources they need to give their children the opportunities to be successful in school and life. Save the Children is working hard every day to fill that gap." And when I came across this quote as I was finding some good information to share with you all, it really stuck with me because since starting my position in February, I've learned working with the state team, working with School Age, working with other community engagement coordinators, that making an impact in the lives of children, whether it be in the state of Kentucky or just here in Rockcastle County, that's everybody's goal. And it's just been really great for me to see that. So that quote really just stuck out with me, and that's just what I wanted to start out to share with you all. So although it's not my level of expertise or not my job-full area, I wanted to start with sharing some information about our School Age program. Like Ms. Carey said, we just have started with the reading, but School Age programs are offered kindergarten through 5th grade to help improve reading and math skills, striving for proficiency at the end of 3rd grade. So just since November through May, we've had reading, and those program coordinators have been amazing to work with. Just to shout out them, Miss Angie Adams is at Mount Vernon, Brittany McClure's at Broadhead, and at Roundstone is at Miss Kim Wolf. And I want to go through just a little bit of their data from November to May, and I'll explain it to the best of my ability, just because their data to look at is phenomenal. So this is Broadhead. It's separated K through 1st, 2nd through 5th. So kindergarten through 1st at Mount Vernon, at Broadhead, we had 26 enrolled. And 81% of those students, again, just November to May, made significant growth. And that significant growth is based off a level of points they moved up in the reading test program they use. And then the positive growth, I asked Ms. Brittany McClure to explain this to me a little bit because, like I said, this is not my area. But she said the positive growth is really important because 100% of students made that growth. And she said seeing that 100% growth is really stuck out to her because her students in her program, they're more confident speaking with their peers. They're more confident speaking in a group. So she was really proud of that positive growth, and you'll see that all of our students have had positive growth. Then you look down at 2nd to 5th, they had 44 enrolled, 100% significant growth, 100% positive growth, which is amazing. Then I also wanted to shout Broadhead because they were 2nd nationwide in the My On Reading Challenge. And this is a reading challenge that students in Save the Children interact in, but it also is school-wide, so the Save the Children teachers promote it, they provide incentives, but it was huge that Broadhead placed 2nd nationwide. So I just definitely wanted to point that out. Mount Vernon, I had 10 K through 1st graders, 90% significant growth, 100% positive. In 2nd through 5th, they had 60, 100% for significant, 100% for positive. So again, November to May, this data really stood out to me because they've made so much growth in such little time. And then last is Roundstone. K through 1st, they had 19 with 37% significant growth, 100% in that positive growth. 2nd through 5th is 38 with 71% in significant growth and 84 in positive growth. So again, this isn't my area, but I thought it was really important to show that data to you all, especially because it's November to May. Since I am stationed at Mount Vernon Elementary, I get to interact with some of the Save the Children kids from time to time, and they will tell you their Save the Children class is their favorite class of the day. And from the state team, they tell us that children enrolled in the Save the Children programming, that's basically almost like 4 extra months of added learning they're getting in that class alone. So again, this is my area, but I really wanted to share this data with you because November to May's short time period, but they made amazing growth.
How do they choose which students get to participate?
They have a whole system that they go through to pull students. Like I said, it's not my complete area.
They give a certain assessment, and then based on the assessment, they choose the students that fall within their categories.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Like I said, in-school programming is not my level, so I wanted to explain it the best of my ability, and I have to thank Ms. Brittany McClure because she spent some time elaborating and explaining everything to me, especially with how their data works. So then we have Summer Boost. This is a camp that is actually going on right now. Summer Boost is a summer camp for children that were enrolled kindergarten through 5th grade, and this program helps children maintain that growth they made during the school year and during that time of learning they're not getting during the summer to carry it into the next school year. And a lot of kids didn't really know what to expect of Summer Boost because when you think of going to school in the summer, you think of summer camp, but it's not. It's far from a summer camp. Summer Boost kids, they're getting exposure to reading and math, but then they're also doing community service activities, healthy choices activities, and these are just a couple of pictures from week 1. You have kids that were planting flowers, doing team building activities, and I've got to spend some time at some of the schools, and the kids are having an absolute blast. I think once the program ends, they're all going to be really sad to see it go because they're having a blast, they're excited to be there, and I hope it's something that we're able to continue years in the future because kids are just loving it. You wouldn't think for it to be summer break and they're at the schools for them to have so much fun, but I mean, I think I'd even enjoy getting to go to Summer Boost. And then next is Kinder Boost, and this is also going on right now. This is their week 2 that they're in at the moment. And Kinderboost is a summer camp for children that are going to be enrolled in kindergarten in the upcoming year. This looks at a 2-week transition and learning period for those students. During Kinderboost, they get hands-on learning, social emotional development, story time, daily learning centers. But the big thing, and I was lucky enough to actually get to be with one of the Kinderboost classes one day last week because they were short a teacher. And a lot of these students, they've never stepped foot into one of our elementary schools. They've maybe gone to TikTok or CAP or maybe the Rockcastle Regional Child Development Center. And there's kiddos that you can tell that they've never been away from their parents. And we had one little girl I was able to make a connection with, had a really tough first day. And then I met her at the door the second day, and I asked her, I said, "Did you have a good day yesterday?" She said, "Oh my gosh, I had so much fun." And she was thrilled to be there the next day. So I know just from what little bit I've got to interact, this 2-week transition period is going to make a world's difference for these group of kiddos come first day of school. So again, just wanted to highlight it, and you can see some of their fun pictures. They're getting to do all kinds of fun stuff in the Kinderboost program. Then something I want to touch on, which is about to be brand new in our district, is the AmeriCorps Seniors Program. The AmeriCorps Senior Program is for men and women over the age of 55 that have a love for children. And basically what they do is they place these AmeriCorps seniors in an elementary school to work one-on-one with students. And they help them with reading skills, but it's also just an extra person to have, be there as a support person for that child. And I was lucky enough when Save the Children had their award ceremony at the end of this year. They partner with AmeriCorps seniors because they obviously want to highlight all the great things that they do. And there were AmeriCorps seniors that had gotten awards for, they had been doing this for 10, 20 plus years. And these seniors got up and talked about how much this meant to them and the connection that they were able to make with students. So I wanted to highlight on that since that's something new we're going to be implementing. And if you all know anybody that might be a good fit, send them our way. But I think it's going to be something really great for Save the Children to help us add. And I know we have so many great retired teachers that I think would love to come in and do this. And the seniors do get benefits. They get a stipend and they get compensated as well. So next is the area that I'm really excited to talk about because it's my community engagement area. And Save the Children in Rockcastle County through community engagement is wanting to provide support to children's families in our school communities through materials, early learning development, and all those great things. So to kind of give you all a little bit of an insight, I'm going to go through my key strategies. And my key strategies are to increase access, increase awareness, build capacity, and build partnerships. With increased access, we're trying to increase the access to books, high quality learning resources and opportunities for kids, increase the awareness and importance of early learning resources and opportunities, whether that be for children, grandparents, caregivers. You know, we have a lot of grandparents that are helping raise young children, and I know I've got to speak with a lot of them, and having these resources and opportunities have been really beneficial to them. Build capacity of caregivers, partners, teachers to support early learning and development, and build partnerships to strengthen support for children and family, take action, increase the messenger pool, and leverage resources. So here are just a couple of things that I've implemented so far. Reading Rockcastle has been kind of one of the things I'm most proud of. It's something I implemented early on in my position. And Reading Rockcastle is a set of community-free bookshelves. So these bookshelves are placed out in our county, and I tend to those. I make sure they're taken care of, stocked with books. So right now we have one at the Christian Appalachian Project Grateful Bread Food Pantry. That one alone has made this whole project so worth it because these low-income families, they come in, they work with CAP staff to go through and shop, but the kids light up when they come in and see the bookshelves because it's something they're able to pick out because these families don't even have money to buy groceries. So therefore, you think about it, they don't have money to go out, buy books, buy those extra learning resources. So CAP's Food Pantry Bookshelf has been one that's set in my heart and I will love forever. We have one at the Rock Peds office at the Rockcastle Regional Hospital, one at the Health Department, one at the Public Library, and one at the KECOC Rockcastle Child Development Center, which is the Early Head Start office. The bookshelves have been a huge hit with kids. They've loved it. In the second month alone that the bookshelves were out in the community, we distributed over 400 books. And we have kids that they know what the bookshelves are. They know that they can go and get a free book. The libraries has been a huge hit as well. They have story hour kids that come every Friday. A lot of these kids are, you're younger, haven't even started preschool or kindergarten, and they know where that bookshelf's at, and we have to keep it stocked. The first couple weeks, they'd call me every week and be like, Savannah, we're out of books. I'm like, that's not a bad problem to have. So the bookshelves have been a great hit, but it's also been a way for us to get books in kids' hands and help them build that home library. So Reading Rockcastle has been one of my big hoops I've jumped through, and I think it's been really great, and I hope that we're able to add a few more in this upcoming school year. And these are a couple of kiddos. I've had a lot of parents reach out to me of how big of an impact these bookshelves have made, and somehow I have gotten the name of the book lady. So kids see me and they know that I'm the one that stocks the bookshelves. So it's been super rewarding to me just to know that I'm making this impact, and kids are getting to find a love for books, which is amazing. So a couple months ago, we also were able to distribute kindergarten readiness kits through the help of the state office. These kindergarten readiness kits were given out to 15 kids ages 3 to 5, and these kits were given out in the hopes that parents would work with kids to help get them kindergarten ready. So just kind of give you a little bit of a run through of what was included in each kit. First, every parent got a kindergarten readiness parent booklet, and this booklet is a lifeline for parents that have kids aged 3 to 5. It has basically A to Z of what a parent needs to know to help get their child ready for kindergarten. It has key items that they need to help their kids learn for the Bergantz test, which is what they use when they go into kindergarten. They got a language and math activity book, just a book, a set of counters, fine motor scoops, dice, word tiles, a pencil pouch, pencils, crayons, glue, and scissors. And we provided instructions to families of how they can use these manipulatives to teach the children. And we also, I actually was asked to work with the state office to build a big tutorial video that's like 10 minutes long of all the different activities that families can use within the kit. So hopefully these kits will help a lot, and we'll be able to see the data. The state of Kentucky gives us kindergarten readiness data, so we'll be able to see based on each county how this has actually helped. And then about 2 weeks ago, we had our first community-wide event, which was our summer kickoff event that went over really, really well. We were able to get over 120 kids at that event. So just a little bit of an insight of the event. Every kid got a goodie bag with materials for the parents, a book, and just some fun items from us. We did a rubber duck scavenger hunt with the kids, which was a huge hit. We actually did the event within the Hall of Fame. So if you've been to the Hall of Fame, you know that it's an actual museum, and we had partners set up all the way throughout the museum, so kids got to visit the event, but kids that had never been to the Hall of Fame, they got to also experience the museum. So it helped them get interactive and look at things. In the Hall of Fame, we hid rubber ducks everywhere, and you could sit and listen to a kid go into a new room, and they'd be like, oh, there's a bunch of ducks. And then we had 12 community partners come and also set up at this event, and they provided so much great information and activities to the kids through healthy choices, fire safety, mental health awareness. I worked with Somerset Mental Health to set up a sensory room at this event. So if a family came in and found themselves in a difficult situation, or they just needed a break from the chaos, we had a spot with Somerset Mental Health, and they were equipped with supplies to help any family that may need to just decompress or take a minute to take a step back. We also had a music circle with a local artist, Donovan Howard, who was actually one of our bus drivers, came in with his band, and they played music throughout the whole event, but then he also interacted with kiddos, had instruments for them to play, and there was one group of kiddos that they came in and they played music with Donovan for probably 2 hours. And Donovan was great with them, and they loved it, so that music circle made a huge impact for a lot of kids. We also had the Attorney General's office come, and they provided families with the Identikid kid IDs and missing child cases, which was a huge hit for families as well, because that's something you never know you need it until you need it. So a lot of families really appreciated that. Then we also did something called a storybook walk. If you've never heard of a storybook walk, we take a children's book and blow it up. So instead of holding the book and reading it, you get to walk through it. So that was something really fun and interactive we were able to do with the kids. And on the next slide, we have a huge collage of all the fun things that happened. There was, the extension office had a smoothie box, so kids got to pedal and make a smoothie, which they loved. FCCLA and Miss Camel's crew came and did face painting. At the bottom, you can kind of see our storybook walk. It was a storybook about country music artists, so it fit in great for where the event was hosted. And a lot of kids just really had a great time. And it meant a lot to me that a lot of families came and said, you know, it's so great that we were able to bring our kids to something in Rockcastle County on a Thursday night. And there were so many kids that just had an absolute ball. So I think based on the outcome, it's something we're going to try to do annually because it was such a great event. And then I also have a new project to kind of give you all a little bit of insight on that's not quite made it off the paper yet because we're waiting to get some numbers in. But I was reached out by White House Clinic. Morgan Bray recently took a position there, and she works with the foster care system and DCBS for new foster placements to get them checked out and things when they move in. So we are going to partner with them to provide something called a bean bag. And a bean is an acronym, so bean you have books, E, you have emotional support, A, you have an activity, and N, you have a necessity. So quarterly, we're going to supply White House Clinic with bean bags to give to these kiddos when they come in because obviously they've gone through some traumatic experience to get them placed into foster care. So just to make this probably scary doctor's visit a little bit better, they'll be able to give these bean bags to them. So that's something that we have exciting, upcoming. Hopefully we'll have some more info to share in the upcoming months. And then if you don't already, I would highly encourage you all to follow the Facebook page that I do for Save the Children Community Engagement. It's called Rockcastle County Community Collaborative. If you have kiddos, we post whenever the bookshelves are restocked, when we have upcoming events, just fun little resources. But then I also really try to share out any activity or events that's going on outside of Save the Children that's just in our community to help families know what's going on for their kids. And that's all I have. I appreciate you all letting me take some of your time and share all about Save the Children.
Wow. Any questions?
Nothing but praise.
Very impressive,
Yeah.
but I'm not surprised.
Well,
that
thank
it's
you. I
impressive.
appreciate it. I have went into the job, didn't really know what it would all look like since it's something nobody had ever done. But I really enjoyed getting to work with all the partners in our community and build it from the ground up because as I've worked with other community partners, you quickly find out that everybody has the same goal. Everybody wants to make a difference here in Rockcastle County and make it a fun, great place for kids to grow up. I mean, I grew up here and loved every second of it, so I'm glad I'm able to give something back to the new generation.
And kudos for working with so many partners. It's
Yeah.
great to
Well, thank
get
you.
synergy there.
It is, and Savannah's done an excellent job, and when she goes to our meetings, to her state meetings, there's lots of comments about how quickly Rockcastle has progressed through this program that, I don't know, Savannah, if you want to elaborate on that.
It's like it's been there for years. I just have to
Yeah.
give you that credit.
Well, thank you. I went into it, and of course you have to go through all the training, and I have a site supervisor with Save the Children that helped me with a lot of that training, and I got lucky enough, she lives here in the county, and so she has been able to give me a lot of insight, and she told me one day, because I started in February, but like by March, she said, Savannah, you're doing things that you should be doing when you're at the 4-month mark, and I was like, I just hit the ground running, but it worked out. But I'm glad we've been able to make a really good impact. And I mean, I can't give all the credit to myself. I've worked with so many great community partners, whether it be through the Kiwanis Club, the health department. We're all with the same goal. We just want to make a difference in the lives of kids in our county. So that's just what I'm trying to do. And there's no reason that I should have to do it alone or take all the credit for myself when there's so many people that want to do the same thing. So if we can come together and make a bigger impact, that's what we plan to do.
I think people, though, you need like something to center around, and I think you're going to be the center.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah, I think
appreciate
you're going
it.
to be the one.
You know, you said that the children recognize you as being the book lady. Well, I know a bookmobile lady.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
lady.
And
And
she
every
likes
kid
what
is
you're doing.
always,
So that's
yeah.
good.
You passed the inspection.
Me and her have gotten pretty tight these past couple months, but, and I told her this, I have I went on the bookmobile in my pajamas as a kid. It came to my grandma's house, and that's where I stayed after school or on snow days or on school breaks. So, I mean, it's been amazing to me to see just the impact in just books that we have made. And so I worked in an event with the library. They have a summer reading program, and they had a little kickoff event. You know, there's a couple of kids that I know frequent the bookshelves, which is what we want. I tell them, you know, if you all can go once a week to get a new book, do it. And there's a couple of kids that they came up, and I was handing out free books, and they said, well, we have that one. I'm like, okay, well, let's find a different one. They said, well, we have that one too. And I thought, why don't you just come over here and we'll see what you don't have? But it's amazing because when they say that, you know that they're taking the books home and reading them. So there's a lot of families that have loved coming to our events. I've been able to create a little connection with some really great kiddos in the county that have a love for the event. There's one last thing I'll leave you with. We have a student who is on the autism spectrum, nonverbal. He'll come around you to a sense, but normally doesn't have much to do with you. And at our summer kickoff event, he came and gave me a hug.
Aww.
And then
It
at
was worth it all, wasn't it?
yes, and then at our summer kickoff with the library, I had sat down to him next to him to take some pictures. They had the circus there, and he came and sit next to me, and he just grabbed my hand. And I was like, well, this makes it so worth it. So I really got to make an impact, but also make a connection with some kids in our community. So it's been one of the most rewarding things in my life that I've ever done.
Well, we thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Thank
for
you.
all. I appreciate it.
Doing a great job.
Savannah, can I ask you to share one more thing? Do you care to share, I know, and I'm not gonna get the name right, but the early learning program that I'm so interested in? Can
Yes.
you just, we do not have this yet, but this is what we're shooting for next.
So Save the Children offers a kindergarten readiness program. And so they have someone that comes in similar to a community engagement coordinator, but they're an early step coordinator. So the program itself is called Early Steps. And they go and do home visits with kids kind of that would meet your pre-kindergarten age, but they don't just do one home visit. They do them, I'm not 100% sure if it's monthly, quarterly, but Perry County has this program, and they have just blown, it's amazing. They came and actually presented at my last community engagement coordinator state meeting, and they give these families something multiple times a year. They have a mobile unit, so a bus that they've turned into basically a classroom. So they take the mobile unit to events, to the home visits, and the kids come on and spend time learning with those coordinators.
Wow.
I
So
think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, the bus, what is it?
Readiness Rosie.
Yeah,
It's the bus's
Rosie,
name.
Rosie,
Rosie the
yes.
readiness bus.
Yes, yes.
So
We want that.
yeah, we talked about hopefully trying to push, because I think that would be huge. And just seeing what Perry County has done is phenomenal. And they're actually the ones that gave us the idea for the kindergarten readiness parent booklet. They created a booklet, and they give it out to their families at least 4 times a year. So, you know, even if they lose it, they get it back, because it has so much vital information. I mean, it gives parents, I tell parents, if you take it and read through it and implement the activities, your child will be ready for kindergarten, because it has so many specific items for kids to have to know that's on the Brigance test, because there's a lot of things on the Brigance test that a parent would never know their child needed to know. So that's why we've implemented that parent booklet, and I give it out at any event that has that age range, because it's a vital piece of information. So, but that was from Perry County's kindergarten readiness program. So we could get that, that's awesome.
That's our next goal.
Good,
Yes.
that's a great goal.
But thank you all again for having me.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Savannah.
letting me take some of your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Proud mama moment.
I'm proud.
Miss Savannah, thank you so much.
Thank you all, I
We appreciate
it.
everything that you're doing for our kids.
Well, thank
And
you.
we can see that it's coming from your heart, so that makes it even more beautiful.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it.
The best job you'll ever have is doing something that doesn't seem like a job.
Oh, I know, and I have that conversation often with people. I go to work every day, but I get to do so much.
Something you love.
Yeah, so much fun stuff, and Save the Children is really adamant on, the sky's the limit. As long as you go back to those key strategies, you can implement it. I love telling the Whitley County story of fire department visited class of kindergartners. They asked the question, well, what does the Dalmatian dog do when he's not working? They wrote a book, and because they wrote a book, they were able to get some funding, and they reopened a dog park. And so the kindergartners were like the ones that reopened the dog park, and it was all because they asked the question of, what does the Dalmatian do when he's off work? So Save the Children, really, the sky's the limit, and I have some really great things in the funnel. We're working on implementing a permanent learning space here in the county. So there's just so many great things that we're going to be able to do, and I'm excited to get the next year started and have these first couple months under my belt, kind of learned about the program and what we can implement, because it's amazing just the small impact it's made in the past couple months. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Item 4 is public comment. Nope, we
have
don't
any
have,
public-
do
we
any
don't
of you
have
all wanna
anybody
say
here.
anything? Well, that's nice. Okay. Item 5, operations and actions. Keep in mind that we did add 5R, 5S, 5T, and 5U. Did anyone have any questions about anything? No?
Could y'all give a 30-second blurb about what the cyber insurance covers?
Yes. And the technology folks in the room may have to help me, but, there have been some cases, even in Kentucky, where someone might open, something that was from someone that was not, let's say, a vendor, and, pay an invoice, or, a big one that was in the news was in Scott County. What if someone took over one of our accounts?
Okay.
This would help protect
Okay.
us, and more importantly than make sure our money's protected, but help us work through the process of resolving those situations. So this insurance would help us with that process.
And it is a renewal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was
we did
last
this
year the
We did
last
this
first
year.
last year,
Yeah.
yes, so this is a renewal of that policy.
And while we have many safeguards,
It's a wise
dual
decision.
processes, security, so many things, we have to, sometimes there's the unknown, and we want to protect ourselves against that.
And then I noticed that the regular insurance quote was quite a bit higher than last year. I assume that's just due to increased values and.
Yes, increased property values is certainly one of those factors. Rate increases, most of us have probably had a rate increase, but across the state, the average was about 29%. We had a 17% increase. So we anticipated, that we would have this increase. Our insurance carriers, made us aware very early on to anticipate so that we could begin planning, budgetarily. And, a couple of the other quotes that were from other, providers, many of them are not quoting, and just not able to deliver the requirements that KDE requires for school districts related to insurance.
Thank you. I move to approve the operations and actions.
First and second, all in favor? Yes. Item 6A, review and approve the monthly financial reports. Ms. Jenny?
Any questions about the reports? We're moving into June. June is always exciting in finance and payroll. Ms. Jenny Ellis is with us this evening, and I just have to brag on her for a moment. She is our payroll clerk, and she is very busy lady this week. In June, we processed 3 payrolls, and, those payrolls will run about $4.2 million. So it's very busy time, great deal of work that she executes, in Miss Jenny Ellis fashion. She does a fabulous job. Also in talking in finance, Miss Marianne Childress, you know, we are working to wrap up the end of the year, and that certainly relates to our balance sheet and our month end. We're working to close the year and start a new year. And we just appreciate their assistance and the diligence that they give to their positions. They do a great job. But do you have any questions about the month-end reports?
No questions, need a motion to approve our monthly financial reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Item 6B, review and approve the KSBA policy and procedure updates. This is the first reading. Was there any questions?
I
If
move
there
to
are no
approve.
questions, before, we need to have a discussion on when we're gonna have the second reading also.
Yes.
Why don't we do that before we approve this? Ms. Carey throwed out a date of the 22nd.
22nd at 6 p.m. if that is suitable.
Is that okay for everyone? If so, we will have a special meeting that night to have the second reading. And if you have any questions about this, you can, Ms. Carey can explain it further. But if not, need a motion to approve the policy and procedure updates.
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor? Yes. Item 6C, review and approve the insurance package for the 23-24 fiscal year.
Okay. We've talked already a little bit about, the insurance package. We did put a note on there, with recommending to adopt, the package with the renewal of, we add, 2 items on there. One of those being something that had not been offered to us before, and that's the replacement costs for buses that are 10 years or newer. We can, add $2,525 and have replacement cost on those buses. Excellent value for the return on that. We also, requested to add, it's a $100 annual premium that would, provide some protection against, our execution of the 403B plan for our employees. If there were ever to be an error or an oversight, this would provide some, support and coverage for us.
Explain that a little bit further.
So, our 403B plan is like our cafeteria plan for our employees. So it's a pre-tax opportunities, to make contributions to, annuities. Miss Jenny probably could explain 403B, much better than I. But, it has to do with the, benefits that we offer to our employees.
Okay.
There are 2 other options on here, one of those being, a terrorism option. That is an optional coverage, if the board wants to, consider that coverage. We have not taken that in the past. But if that's something that you want to add, that can be, added.
Is that something you recommend?
The cyber coverage really covers the areas that we are most vulnerable in. This would be an additional layer of protection against terrorism.
What is the classification of terrorism? I mean,
It's
besides
very-
the obvious.
It's very broad. It's very broad. Under our policy, I feel like that we have, you know, many areas that we are covered that address, areas of risk,
So like safety concerns
safety
inside the
concerns,
buildings.
all of those
would
things
fall
are
under that.
covered,
Mhm.
yes.
I hate even talking about something like
Mhm.
that, but that might be something.
So last year, we did not take the coverage that's listed as, the $3,083 includes it includes it for all of our lines. If we take the 10 million umbrella, that includes the terrorism, and it would add an additional $300, so that's
It's not that much.
Mhm.
In the grander scheme of things, that's not much at all.
I'm gonna recommend that we
I
Go
second
there.
that, yeah, I
Okay.
second that.
So we would accept, just to make sure that I'm clear, the premium that is $3,083. We would accept that, okay.
I think that's I recommend that we do that.
Do we need to make a motion to approve or?
Yes, we
With
will do
that.
that, with that,
So-
with that.
With that addition?
Yeah.
Okay, so moved.
You have any questions? Do you have anything against that?
No,
No?
I don't.
Got a first and a second, all in favor? Alright. Next on our list is review and approve the 23-24 salary schedule. Ms. Carrie, did you wanna go over anything?
Yes, so at our last meeting, we had discussions about coaches' salaries and the salaries of our athletic director, and we had, made the decision to come back and revisit that at this meeting. In your board resources, I had provided some documentation for you regarding those coaches' salaries, some different scenarios of what that would look like in the overall impact on the district, if we increase those salaries. After doing that review, my recommendation is that we apply the 1% raise to coaches, which is what we have already previously done, each year that we've taken a percentage raise, that again, that be applied to our coaches. And then in that documentation, there's some information regarding paying our high school and middle school head baseball, head softball, and assistant baseball and softball as stipend, for taking care of the field. That was a concern that had been brought to the board, and so I provided that documentation, that if we paid our head coaches $1,000 to care for the field and our assistants $500, that would be a total cost of $10,000 additional dollars to the district. So that is my recommendation, that we amend the salary schedule to add the stipends for field care. And we have also had some discussions about our athletic director, and in reviewing that, the suggestion has been made to move that pay to $8,000 for the athletic director.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a first and a second, all in favor? Item 7, review the superintendent's personnel action. She didn't have any.
Yes, no, we do not have any, because we have not had SBDM approval since we just met, so when we come back, we'll have those at our next meeting.
Item 8 is department reports. Did you have anything specific that we needed? Okay. I just wanted at this time to just thank everyone that is here tonight. Thank you all for all your hard work, even through these summer months when you could be doing a whole lot of other things probably, but you're still here, so thank you. Ms. Carey, Superintendent Communication.
Yes, there's 2 things I wanted to go over this evening. I put in front of you the evaluation rubric for the superintendent evaluation. We do need to complete the superintendent evaluation in June. So what I have given you is this rubric for you to look at individually. And if you will look, there's 7 standards, so if you will go through those and rate these according to how you feel that I have performed this year as the superintendent. And then when we come together at the next meeting, we will go into closed session, and if you all already have this prepared, then you all can have those discussions in closed session. In your board resources, I have uploaded documentation that goes through each of the standards and put evidence for each standard, so you have that to review. And then as you're going through this, of course, if you have questions, feel free to call me, but this will give you time from now until the next meeting to review this and go over that documentation.
So we'll also do this on the 22nd,
We
correct?
will do this on the
Okay.
22nd, so at this point, there's just 2 agenda items on that meeting, the policy and then going into closed session to review this.
Perfect.
The second thing is I wanted to go over, in your board resources, we have uploaded a 63-page document that I'm asking you to please take time to review.
Okay.
It is the update on our strategic plan. Something that I know that I'm very, very proud of, and I know that each of our department heads should be very proud of as well. The plan, as you know, breaks each of our goals into 7 pillars, and those 7 pillars are student achievement, student readiness, student support, safety and well-being, fiscal systems, operations systems, which includes food service facilities, transportation, technology, community engagement and partnership, and you just heard a lot of the work we're doing in that area, and then professional learning and staffing. And this document, each of our department heads, at the beginning of the school year, we took each pillar and we worked together as a team and we just set action items. This is, by the end of this school year, I want to accomplish this. So we have 63 pages of goals that we just worked as a team, and it really was just fascinating to see how a goal that food service would set, how that impacts technology, how that impacts even transportation, and how all of our goals overlapped and intermingled. And we met multiple times throughout the year and talked about our progress, like where are we, and we color coded it. Have we accomplished it? Is it yellow that we're working on it but we've not yet accomplished it, or is it green? Is it something that yes, we did accomplish? And even you'll see a whole lot of green in here. But even at that, we've made notes because so much of that is ongoing. Just because we achieved it doesn't mean that we're done, that this is something that we're gonna stop doing. We have a meeting scheduled in just a couple weeks where this team will come back together. We're gonna take this 63-page document and we're gonna look at everything that's yellow and red. And we're gonna say, okay, now what? Some things we discovered that we coded as red and we thought, this isn't something we wanna do. You know, we investigated, we researched, we looked into it, and this was not a good decision for Rockcastle County Schools. So just because you see red doesn't necessarily mean that that's bad, that we didn't get to it. It just means some things we didn't get to, but some things we tried and this isn't good for us, this isn't something we wanna do. But we're gonna come back together and we're going to look at each category again, and then we're gonna set new goals. So we'll start the process over and build off of what we have accomplished and continue working and just continue working through this cycle. But everybody in this room has so much to be proud of, and it's really, when you take time to look through it and take time to see all the accomplishments of the year, it's really amazing the work that has been done. So I encourage you to take a time and just look through it, and when you come back June the 22nd, I'm sure you're going to want to be bragging on these people because they've done awesome work, and very, very proud of everything that we've accomplished.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. I am proud of you all. I haven't even read that yet, but I'm proud. Board comments?
I just think the strategic thinking is really important, especially this time of year as we're kind of finishing one and getting ready to start the other one, to think big thoughts and dream big dreams and figure out what to do, and not let resources or those things stand in the way. Let's figure out what we need to do and then figure out how to fund it and make it happen. So encourage everybody around the table to be thinking that way, and how we can move the needle. I think the stuff Savannah talked about is important. The day that Thomas shared about the testing, I mean, that's what we're about, is moving students from here to here. We've just got to figure out how to keep doing that and making progress. So hats off for the good work, and let's keep doing it and figure out how to make the next jump.
Yeah, you took my words. I was gonna say momentum. Keep
sorry.
the momentum going. No, I'll just use a different word.
I've been thinking of this. We're getting ready in July. We'll go do our retreat with principals and all of our department heads. But in my mind, the word traction keeps playing. Like, okay, we've started this, now let's keep the traction going.
Oh yeah, I think it's great. The energy, the momentum is all. It's pretty neat to see from where I started to where I am now, being on the board. I'm loving it. So it's awesome.
I'll just say ditto. And also just let us know as a board how we can support you all. We're here for you too.
Ditto. Thank
Matt, thank you for saying everything that we all wanted to
Yes,
say. I
very
mean-
good.
You don't have to call me first.
No, just keep it up.
I wanted to say, maybe, Miss Jenny, if you would relay the message to Savannah. I was very impressed by the idea of, the beanbag for the foster, the children in foster care. I think that, I'd like to see that maybe even expand outside of White House Clinic, you know? That's so needed. So, I wanted to tell her that, so will you please pass that message on? Yeah, kudos for that, but thank you all for everything that you do
Madam-
for our kids.
Madam Chair, on the 22nd, I probably will have to leave by 7, if not a little bit before.
We'll be done before 7,
Okay, so we'll start at 6 and,
unless you,
okay.
yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm just making
Unless you
sure.
just wanna stay all night.
No, I'm just, if we're doing superintendent evaluation, I didn't know how long we were going.
I can't imagine it, if that's
Okay.
the only 2 items on.
So we're gonna
I
start
mean,
at 5:30 or 6? Just make sure I'm clear.
6 works best for me.
Okay.
I'm on the standard setting committee for the state assessment.
Okay.
And we meet in Frankfurt on that day till 4:30.
Okay. I think that if we all just come prepared with our notes,
Okay, that's fine
then I
with me.
think that we shouldn't have any, I mean, Gary, we think you do a great job. It ain't gonna take us a long time to
No,
say
I
you're doing a
agree.
good job.
Thank you.
No, I agree.
But, with that being said, thank you all for joining us tonight. If anyone has anything to say, Ken, I'm looking at you, got anything? Miss Mattingly, is this maybe,
Getting close.
Getting
If I
close.
can be at that special meeting, I will, but maybe not. I'm trying to make that, but gosh, this has been a fun ride. So, thank you all.
well, I just wanna say thank you. Yeah.
It's been wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
Well, we've enjoyed having you.
Tired.
Yeah. Now you can cry again, right?
I will say, there is no better group of people to work with, and I include you all in that. I mean, I wouldn't work anywhere else. And we're just blessed, all of us.
Very
We
blessed.
feel like that every day we come to work, that we're so blessed to work with this team.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Thank you all for your time.